Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Math 30-2, Chapter 7.4, Solving Exponential Equations Using Logs. Now, here we go again. Once again, we have an equation we have to solve. Now, Yvonne has a balance of $3,215 in her savings account. This account pays 2.4% interest per year compounded annually. The compound interest formula is A equals P bracket 1 plus I to the N. Now, you'll note this formula is not on your formula sheet. I don't expect you to memorize it. I do expect you to be able to use it if it's given to you. Now, here A is the future value, P represents the principal, I represents the interest rate applied each compounding period, and N represents the number of compounding periods. Now, this gets a little interesting. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Wait a minute, this is 6. Oh, sorry, wrong folder. That's, never mind. Okay. So far, so good? Now you can pretend. Okay. Now, how long will it take for Yvonne's balance to reach $5,000? Now, this is something you have to be able to do. And this is the typical question you'll get. So, principal is $3,250. That's how much she starts with. Now, here you plug in the numbers. So this is 5,000 equals 32151.024 x or n or whatever x or n or whatever you want to call it. Now, first thing you should think about is graphing this darn thing. y1 is 5,000, y2 is 3,200. But as you've seen with some of these, sorry? Minus 10 to 10 is always a good start, but
not in this case.
No, it's always a good place to start because some people will do weird things with the windows. But the thing here is your y value, you're looking for 5,000, so your y window has to be 5,000, and God knows what your x window has to be. So as we've seen before, and as I was trying to explain earlier, big thing with this is your windows. Now, put the calculators down. I'm going to show you a different way to do this. Calculators down. So you can put them down. Now, here, logs are actually a lovely shortcut to solve these, which is why we still use logs. Now, the hint here is to simplify this mess first. Do you remember y equals ab to the x? That exponent function. Do you remember that? I know it's Friday morning, but come on, guys. All right, try something different. Remember the equivalence. Y equals a to the, y equals b to the x, log base b of y equals x. If you can remember that, this actually makes this a poop load easier. Now, what you have to do is reduce this to y equals b to the x. That is 1.024 to the x, no 3215. So get rid of the a value. So how do you get rid of times 3215? Divide by 3215. Now, what's 5,000 divided by 3215? Now you need a calculator. Decimal 024 to the x. So far, so good? Just simplified the equation? Nothing particularly fancy there. Now, here's the neat, sneaky shortcut. If you turn this into a log, this becomes log base 1.024 of 1.555 equals x. And that, Mr. Calculator, can solve really quickly. Now grab your calculator and tell me what that is. got the fancy one. Now, I have to ask, what's quicker, screwing around with the graph in the windows or rearranging this and plugging it in? This is quicker. That's why we use it. And this is the secret here. You've got to get it down to this. Something equals the base to a power. Nothing multiplied by the base. And then you can just turn it into a log, and it's real easy to solve. So, here we go. If I asked you log base 2 of 100, well, we just did a question like that. Log base 2 of 100 equals x, which is what?
6.64.
Okay. Now, you know, I just double checking you wanted to use the you know how to use the calculator. But do me a favor. What is 2 to the 6.64? How come there's only one gentleman doing this? 99.7, which is roughly 100. Well, if I went to like 3 or 4 decimal places here, I would get closer and closer to 100. Now, so you know how to use your calculator. Good. Now, here is the tough one. How would we solve this? Okay, you're either trying to come up with an answer or you're spasming. Given that this is Friday morning in logs, I'm assuming it's a spasm of some sort. Welcome, Renee. All right, now, what do we do here? Remember I said the equivalence. If you can remember that, this is, what's my base? Careful. No, what's the base for the exponent? B to the x equals y. This is log base b of y equals x, or log base 3 of 20 equals x minus 1. Now, good. So as long as we can take this. So, lose the hat, Renee, because you're on camera now. Sorry? Sorry. One more time, guys. Hang on. Can't hear you muttering. Speak up. It's what? 2 point?
Yeah, that's close to
2.726 is x.
3 to the square.
Okay, one more time. You got to speak up.
3 to the square, like the x minus 1 would equal 2.726. So 3.7.
Okay. All right, sorry. You have to speak up a little bit.
Was 3.726.
Yes, you're missing the magic comment. Add 1 to both sides. Yes. Thank you, gentlemen. You're answering my final question before I ask the question, which is why I'm getting confused. Anyway, now this is the beauty of logs. It can save you a crap load of work because you can solve that graphically, but I honestly think this is quicker and easier.
Guess and check.
Well, good luck trying to get to 3 decimal places guessing and checking.
That's what I got.
Okay. Hey, sometimes I'm not arguing with you if you want to waste your time like that. Now, Renee, welcome. Here, what we're doing is we're solving these exponential equations using logs. And just like these guys did, they went when I talked about that. But it's real easy. Hang on. Shh. He's late. I got to explain to him. The big thing here, y equals b to the x, is the same as log base b of y equals x. So if I asked you to solve this, you can graph it. But you got to play around with your windows. Now this one isn't bad. This one is a bit of a pain in the bum because you got to make y like 120 or something. And I don't know what x is. But if you can rearrange it, and the key, the most important thing, has to be y equals b to the x. There's nothing multiplied by the b, so I got to get rid of this times 5. How do I get rid of times 5? Divide both sides by 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 6.6. I think that's 6.6. Check my math.
Wrong.
Smack him up the side of the head for bonus points. All right. Now, once you get it to this, log base 3 of 6.6 is x. And that's just plugging it into Mr. Calculator. So grab your calculator. Show me that you can change base. Put that on the video. Yes, there we go. Do you remember how to change base on your calculator?
Yeah. 1.71.
Yes. I don't know what the answer is, but that's reasonable. 3 squared is 9. So this is less than 9, so this number has to be less than 2. But 3 to the 1 is 3, and this is bigger than 3, so it has to be between 1 and 2. 1.71 is quite reasonable. So that's how that goes. Now, who wants to come up here? Who wants to do this one and put it on the board? Not you? Kenzie? Austin? Nobody? All right. Well, somebody can tell me the answer. Are you volunteering or stretching? Oh, you're just giving him a comment. Okay. I'm not looking. Give him another comment. Boys, where's my coffee? All right. So, that's a sneaky shortcut here. If you can remember that, it saves you a poop load of work. Now, once again, on a test or an exam, if they say, what's the solution, I don't care how you solve it. So if you want to graph it, that's fine. I just think this is easier, and you will get the question, Billy Bob made a mistake. Where's his mistake? Or when you're solving this, you get this, you have to show work. It happens. Not that big a deal. Now, who feels brave and wants to help me with the next one? Thank you, Mackenzie. Sorry? Okay. Y equals b to the x. That's our exponent. Now, do you have your blue formula sheet handy? Dig it out, please. This is your exponent formula. And right on top, actually, could I borrow it for a second? Thank you. Yeah, poopy. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. They're calling it a to the x on the formula sheet. It's b to the x in 30-1. My apologies. So find this, y equals a to the x. That's equivalent to x equals log base a of y. My apologies. They used a instead of b. Now, that's what you have to, actually you don't have to remember that. That's right there in your formula sheet. You have to remember to have your formula sheet. Like it. Good.
2 to the power of 6.87.
Sounds reasonable, but I need Mackenzie to help me find it. So this is written like this, y equals a to the x. So what do? I rewrite it. So my exponent, x plus 2, is what? Log. What's my base? And what's my y value originally? You can be quiet now. Actually, you're gonna have to, I'll give you my numbers. Good luck guessing and checking. 2 log base 2 of 117 is what? No, those aren't good last. Actually, those are decent last words. Not the best. Like, here, hold my beer, or watch this. This is something I saw on the internet. Those are good last words. Challenge accepted is only okay. Now, x plus 2 equals what? 2 times 2 is 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Something between 5, there's a 6 and 7, I think. 6.87. Now, x plus 2 is 6.87. What's x? Yes, subtract 2 from both sides. 4.87. So that's how you solve that. Questions? No. If I'm going to give you a hard time, lad, you'll know. You'll probably need therapy to get over the conversation. All right.
I'm already in therapy to get over this class.
Okay. I was going to say another example here. Okay. So, I'm going to have you guys do these two. So I'll put them up on the board. 1,000 equals 500. 1.0 to 8 to the x plus 5. And 45 is 100. 1/2 x minus 2. Solve these for me, please, algebraically, not graphically. Copy. This up here while you're looking at it. I'll get some brave person to come up and do that. Yep. That's okay, hang on. This would be a base, so it's log base of 1.08 equals 2. Now, you got the first part right. Divide both sides by 500. So it's 2 equals 1.08 to the x plus 5. That's correct. Y equals a to the x. X equals log base a of y. That's the equivalent you got to be able to remember or find on the formula sheet. So if this is y is 2, so this is x plus 5 equals log base 1.08 of 2. So log base 1.08 of 2, I have no idea what that number is. No. 1 to the 1 point, no. 9 point, that's reasonable. Now, sorry, now what do we do? X plus 5 is 9, x equals? Sorry, Renee? Okay, because it's not, the exponent is not x, it's x plus 5. So x plus 5 equals the whole mess. And we want x all by itself. The other minus 4. Try this again. More coffee. Yes, thank you, Renee. Glad one of us is awake. Subtract 5, the other 4 from both sides. So x is 4, or 4.006, depending on how picky you want to be. I'm going to have more coffee before I embarrass myself again. Now, since you guys are young and awake, what's the next one? What you get? Well, what'd you do? What was the first thing you did? Yep. 0.45 is 1/2 x minus 2. Y, A, x. You rewrite that as? Sorry? Base 1/2, thank you. Equals x minus 2, which is 1.15. So add 2 to both sides. You get yes. Now, as I said, annoying, but I think it's quicker than graphing. So far, so good? All right. Okay, I'm going to skip that for the moment. This is the stuff you need to know. So, 4. So, let's, for a little while, work on, try that again. There is a harder section I want to do later. Right now, I'd like you guys to work on a few of these questions here. And we'll come back and do the harder stuff later. So there will be a second part to this video.